It does feel like we've had some success at chipping away, so achieving these small incremental advantages for patients with drugs like erlotinib or crizotinib, where you're helping patients in a remarkable way, but when you take a step back, it's a small slice of the pie, so to speak. How are we going to help all the other patients that don't have EGFR mutations or ALK rearrangements? I think there's a lot to be hopeful about as we discover these other slices. You know, if it's something called HER2 or MET or RET or ROS or AKT or PI3 kinase, I think it's likely that we're going to find some successes, maybe not as dramatic as crizotinib or erlotinib, but some clinically meaningful successes where patients benefit from perhaps often oral targeted therapy in those slices. But there's no question there's a larger piece of this pie that we may not find targeted drugs that are as simple as taking one pill. And that's where I think we have to continue to try to identify maybe newer chemotherapies or things like anti-PD-1, anti-PD-L1 immunotherapies that maybe select patients in different ways than the way we think about slicing up that pie. It's difficult, and what makes it, I think, a little bit more challenging is when we think that even where we've had successes, these slices where we feel like we've made this progress, we have to recognize that we're not curing patients. So we have to think even beyond that, okay, I've identified EGFR or HER2 or MET, but I know these therapies are not going to be good enough to hold on forever, and we're going to have to find next things to do. So I think a lot is happening. There's a lot of excitement, but we have a long way to go to ultimately make real, meaningful benefits for the majority of our patients who suffer from lung cancer.